Codename Preventer Wind. You know, I appreciate that after the events of the television series, in Endless Waltz they decided that even though Zex Marquise did, in fact, try to reach all of the heights of Shar Aznavour's career by dropping a giant object on the Earth, they decided to make him a good guy. You know, because we gotta let bygones be bygones. So this is the video review for the Robot Damashi, Robot Spirits, whatever you want to call it, Tallgeese 3, or the Tallgeese Dry, Tallgeese the Third, I don't know, I'm covering all the bases, which is coming at you from our friends at Angles.com. So, you know, this is like your typical Robot Damashi release. Very nice paint applications all over, you know, nice bright colors. The articulation, I'm going to get into that, but it's not quite up to par, at least in comparison to some of their previous toys. Not necessarily Damashi figures, but I'm thinking HCM Pros. But yeah, you know, this is your basic Tallgeese 3 that does everything it should do. Has the Mega Cannon, has the shield, which does in fact have the... just pull out the tip there and plug in the fully extended heat rod, and watch as the figure gets tangled up in the cord used to power the camera. Okay, so here's the heat rod, and as you can see, this is actually very flexible and also stiff, so it will hold a pose. You can, you know, kind of get it all the way out like that. You can curl it up as if, you know, he's ready to strike with it. And the shield itself is actually mounted on this little mounting bracket here, which is connected to a ball joint which is on a hinge. It also has a ball joint and a hinge on the other end, so this can kind of just go all over the place. Also, the shield does have a little handle at the end which can actually rotate around, but I have noticed that because the two hands for holding things that this figure comes with have a little square hole in the middle instead of a round hole, I can't really get it in there unless I try to force it in, and I don't really want to do that because I think I would, like, maybe break the thing. But yeah, but you know, still, it's got the heat rod, which is still a really silly name for a weapon. When this one come out, there it goes. Now let's just stick this thing back in. That goes in nice and easy. And, you know, he's got the Mega Cannon, which I gotta say, I know this is true to the show, but putting it in the hand, and while it's also, you know, connected to the shoulder with this whole mechanism here, which has again, a couple of ball joints, a couple of hinges, it kind of limits the posing. You really can't do anything else other than have it like this. I mean, you can't really get it all the way out without popping the hand off the ball joint. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hand, which is absolutely jammed onto this handle. Wow, there we go. And I'm just going to replace it with one of the regular fists he comes with, because, you know, like any good Robot Damashi figure, he does come with a pair of fists. So yeah, you can see, you can get this a bit more far out without it having to be inside the hand. And of course you can actually make it open up, although it's not actually a mechanism. You actually have to, as you can see, kind of take it apart. You just slide this little black piece from the inside, and then you just take the two halves, try not to drop them 50 times, and then you just kind of slide them in the front there. And then, as you can kind of see, there's actually two sets of holes that this plugs into. So here we go. Here's the Mega Cannon, fully extended, you know, looking nice and mean looking. The whole thing is very nicely detailed. Some these aren't flexible, but does have nice tubing. You know, the whole generator thing on the back here, which, you know, the energy obviously spins around in so that it goes faster, so it can come out stronger. Oh yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, just gonna pop this thing back in. So you see, actually, what you do is you just kind of... Oh, oops. wrong way. Is that you just kind of see, you just kind of slide it in like that. And same thing on the other side, you just push it in. Is that you just kind of slide it in and then pop it back in. Okay, so let's get to some more gimmicks. He does actually come with a pair of beam sabers. Mounted on the shield, and you know, tiny little beam sabers, and you just, you know, take the clear beam saber blade and stick it on there, and obviously grab this nifty let's let that focus, you know, thumbs up, soldier, and stick that, and oh, it doesn't seem to want to go in the hole. Oh, there it goes. There you go. Now you got a big old beam saber. Unfortunately, he does have 2 beam sabers, but only 1 beam saber blade, which is kind of weird. You know, I feel like they could have just given us 2. But yeah, he's got a beam saber, and he can wave it around. Alright, so I've been putting this off long enough, but let's talk about articulation. Oh, and one more gimmick. He does have the, you know, the fully posable and opening engine pods. You can swing the wings out. And these are actually supposed to be geared so that they will, both sides will open at the same time, but sometimes you can kind of dislodge it, but just sort of line it up and push it back together, and then it'll be fine. You should probably just kind of use both fingers and pull it out, and so you got the nice big boosters in there. No effect parts for it, unfortunately, unlike the old HCM Pro. But okay, here's one problem, is that the legs can't really come together. You know, they're just kind of stuck here because of just the size of the thighs. You know, the thighs that perfectly frame his anatomically correct thruster right there. Anyway, okay, actually these little sort of semi-skirts on the side also move, although it doesn't really seem like it would help because the legs are limited just by this little piece right here. Another problem is that this whole skirt area back here, it does not move. It does not hinge or anything, so you're going to have the thighs bump right into it, and if you try to collapse the knee, which is double jointed, you're just going to end up, you know, hitting the back of the skirt right there. It's kind of disappointing, unfortunately, and the waist is okay. It's kind of limited left and right, but it does get a good curl, as you can see right there, you know, up and down. Pretty good curl. The arms are probably the best part. You know, they actually do go all the way around, although you are going to get these boosters bumping into things. You can just kind of hinge them out of the way a little bit. That's something I never really realized about the Tallgeese design, is that the boosters are actually on the shoulder pads themselves. It's a little weird. These are double jointed too. Well, they're kind of single jointed, but they do go up all the way. And if you ever notice, the Tallgeese 3's arms are actually permanently kind of bent a little bit just by how they're designed. Okay, here's the big problem. Now, it does have a very nice face, as you can see, you know. Good lines in there, and a nice bright green for the eyepiece, you know. Nice bright gold for the crest on the end. You know, it does have the plume, as it should. But let's try to move it. Okay, it goes up, okay. But you can see this part here is part of the head, so try to move it left or right. Not really going anywhere. And this is unfortunate because, you know, they fixed this problem on the old HCM Pro figure. That was the Tallgeese 1, not the Tallgeese 3. But, you know, they just had this part separate from the head and had the head on a ball joint so that it actually could move if it wanted to. Again, maybe that's not quite true to the design, but it is kind of disappointing that they didn't go with that route on the newer figure. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but it's just one of those things that kind of separates this from being an excellent Robot Damashi figure to just being a good one. You know, if you want a Tallgeese 3 to go with your Wing Zero Endless Waltz version, then you're going to have to get this guy, obviously. You know, really not a bad figure, but just kind of disappointing in just in regards to the articulation, because it just feels like a step back in some ways. But Yeah, overall, it's okay. I mean, if you can just kind of fiddle around with the gun, or maybe just leave it unplugged from the hand, and not even bother trying to fit it in there, and it'll be all right. It'll look good. It looks very regal, even when he's just kind of standing there. That's kind of a nice aspect of the design. It looks very kingly, like he belongs in the battlefield, commanding his troops, or just kind of going around killing people by himself. So yeah, again, not the greatest Robot-Damacy figure, but overall an okay figure, and he's also kind of back heavy, so plant his feet. So this has been Andrew for CollectionDX. The toy has been provided by Angles.com. Check them out there, buy it. And yeah, so really okay figure, not the greatest.